Hello and welcome to the Ant-Man channel. Um, there's a guy on one that I'm subscribed to on my YouTube. I'm subscribed to his YouTube channel, and I really like the professionalism, man. I like that he wears a suit and goes and like sits in front of his camera like I do, and he tells you about. Well, he's into like Bible prophecy and stuff like that. Me wearing a suit would be like the equivalent of who's the guy that wrote Bowling for Columbine, or the guy that directed it? I don't even know that scumbag's name because I don't pay attention to him, but because I mean, if you hear the guy talk, man, I mean that guy race baits against his own. He plays his own. He demonizes his own race. His name's like Michael something. The guy that wears the baseball cap and he tries to dress like an average Joe, but has armed security guards and is like rich as heck. That's like the equivalent of that, you know. I have a bunch of nice suits, guys. I like to dress up, you know. But I like to just do this real quick, you know. This is just my modest empowerment for the day. I hope people that get something out of it, you know. I'm just a normal dude, you know. When people hear Barack Obama speak, you know, it's like that's the smartest guy they've ever heard because he's the president. He's very articulate. He's very, you know, he is a smart guy, man. You know, Bill. I think it's Bill Ayers. Put him through college. He went to like, you know, he went through all the seven circles of hell, you know, to get to where he's at. You know, Harvard and Skull and Bones and the Masonic Lodge and, you know, all those creepy secret societies and whatnot. If you believe that to be true, I mean, I do. I do. I believe that he knows what he's doing. There's no way the guy can be running a country and not know what he's doing, you know. He knows what he's doing. He just doesn't like you and me. That's just a hard pill to swallow for some of us. Well, it's Wednesday, the 24th of July, 2013. And I have an article in front of me from WND under the column Faith. So, U.S. City looks to penalize Bible believers. Didn't I just say this in my last video? I mean, I didn't see this one coming, you know. We are the salt and the light of the earth, though, and it's good because salt makes you thirsty, and the light helps you see where you're going. So, what good are you if you don't have any salt or any light, you know? It's funny because I irritate a lot of people, you know. That's what salt does, it irritates. But, you know, and I don't mean to, you know. My best efforts are as filthy rags compared to God, you know. He's the only one that's really good and righteous, but I try. But anyway, I do offend people sometimes, and I don't mean to, but it's because I have a belief, and my belief, I believe it to be right, and I stand behind that. And nowadays, I see people peer pressuring and bullying people like me, and I don't like it. I just don't like it. I see a lot of Christians getting beat up for having signs at protests. Well, not even protests, but they'll be holding signs at like a gay rally or something, and some some low IQ guy runs up on him and starts hitting him and stuff. It's like I'm getting really sick and tired of Christians being passive and not doing anything, you know. And that goes for me too, you know. I didn't wake up until like almost 2 years ago, and it's time to now get our, you know, head back into the game. And when I mean game is I mean politics, okay? I'm tired of scientists like Bill Nye telling little kids that creation is not appropriate, or that, you know, just the attack on our beliefs is just out of this world, and it just shows you how little people know the Word of God. Because if they did, they would understand that, hey, you know, that the Caesar isn't God. You know, God is God, and we listen to God. You know, we don't listen to what people say. I mean, it's good to, like, you know, respect each other and, you know, make friends and be nice, but let's get one thing straight. I have a destiny to get to. I'm going to heaven one day. And for me to keep that, you know, the way that it is, I am going to heaven. But for me to keep that intact, I need to honor God and serve Him. Because I'm not going to live a contrary life. God says it's better for you to have never heard the Word of God than to know it and to not do it. It's really that clear and simple. Critics change anti-bias requirement punishes people with moral convictions. Yeah, we are really in a time where we do what's right in our own eyes, aren't we? Excuse me. There's a picture of a sweet little girl holding a Bible. You know, if she's a terrorist, you should probably get find out where she is. Get some NSA files and look up what she's doing because she's probably up to no good. Anyways, think it's hot in Texas these days? Just wait a few weeks until the San Antonio City Council ends its summer hiatus and resumes work on a proposed change to its non-discrimination ordinances that apparently will discriminate against all who take the Bible and its word and follow it. Yeah, you guys just heard that right. That's because the change creates a penalty for those who ever exhibit a bias, which clearly could include adopting the Bible's condemnation of homosexuality, with a permanent ban on participation in city government, business, or employment. And that's the other thing. And I'm not trying to bash on anyone I know, because I know I don't name names because I don't want to, I try to protect the what would you call it, reputation of people that I know, because I know we're not always right. I'm not always right. I can admit that. And but I heard a Christian once tell me, that's why it's not our duty to find out everything. It would drive us crazy. We're not supposed to know everything. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard, the most defeated attitude, the most brainwashed, conditioned mentality I've ever heard in my life. I think a founding father once said that Christians should be into politics and should overwatch the judicial system and the legislative system, executive branch, whatever, the three branches of government, But nobody knows what three branches of government is anymore, and so we have a president like Barack Obama that I have written the most executive orders in all of U.S. history. I have surpassed FDR and times it by 10 or something like that, because FDR were 4. Obama's written 100 or over 100, because nobody understands the judicial or the legislative branches of government. So the president's just pretty much King John of England, running around avoiding Magna Carta, even though he swore. Well, no, he didn't swear. He got forced to sign Magna Carta, but Obama put his hand on freaking Martin Luther King Jr.'s Bible and swore to uphold the Constitution. Somebody please, man. Am I taking crazy pills or something? Opponents of the plan, which would add sexual orientation and gender identity to the non-discrimination ordinances, charge it is a violation of Constitutional Article 4, Paragraph 3, which states, no religious test shall ever be required as a qualification to any office or public trust under the United States. Too bad we're not even the United States anymore. We might as well change the flag. We might as well change the name to the Corporate States of America or something like that, because it sounds way better. I don't have respect toward a man who wants to go and hang out with a chick, take her out to dinner, but not marry her. You know what I mean? That's what our country is. Our country is treated like a cheap prostitute, man. It is what it is. The opponents explained that the ordinances would bar anyone from office who has demonstrated a bias against anyone based on categories that include sexual orientation. The proposal, however, does not define bias, which according to local church leaders could mean someone who declares homosexuality behavior is sinful. I have a friend who knows very well about government corruption. He has been the object of it for, now, even until now. But I'm not going to name him. But he even told me he remembers when the news changed overnight. It changed overnight. They used to report the real news. CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, NBC, CBS, they all used to report real news until a little guy named Rupert Murdoch came along and said, push homosexuality, only talk about that, celebrities, AIDS, and it's all just to divide and conquer, man. I mean, what would that create? What would it create? It would create division if you focus on all this stuff, because it's all politics is not about our sexual preferences. It's not about what Kim Kardashian, what kind of jeans she's wearing today, or it's not about any of that. It's not about Kate Middleton's son's name. Or, I'm sorry, the Duchess of Cambridge. Oh my God. Somebody strike me with lightning. The new ordinance would state no person shall be appointed to a position if the city council finds that such person has, prior to such proposed appointment engaged in discrimination or demonstration or demonstrated a bias by word or deed against any person, group, or organization on the basis of race, color, religion, national origin, sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, veteran status, age, or disability. Anyone in office who demonstrates a bias would be considered guilty of malfeasance and removed from office. Church leaders who oppose the proposed change argue if it violates First Amendment rights to freedom of religion, freedom of speech, and freedom of association. It also violates, they say, the Texas Religious Freedom Act and the Texas Constitution. Pastor Charles Flowers of Faith Outreach International, who has been alerting city residents about the issue, told One News Now that the reference to bias could mean anything. And man, I have debated with atheist professors. And it's funny because I have an uncle who's an atheist professor, and he's family. But it always goes toward, you're an idiot. It always goes to name calling. That's the only argument they have, is that you're stupid and they're not, because they go to institutes because they learn everything they know from institutions that are taxpayer funded and have an agenda to push this crap that has been already proven to be a fraud. Every single evidence, or every single piece of evidence that points to the evolutionary theory being right, is proven to be fraud since the 1950s. There are laws that say that textbooks have to teach things that are accurate and true. Yet you have textbooks that are teaching evolutionary psychology. No wonder it's survival of the fittest out here these days, because the whole evolution theory, it claims to like add to life. It doesn't. It only takes away. It's a religion of death and destruction, and all that mutation stuff. That's just a mutation. It's just, there's two faulty things that the whole evolution thing is based on, and it's mutation, and that's one of them. There's another, but mutation's one of them that you can't say that just because something mutated that it evolved. It's just a mutation. It's a information that has been kind of like confused. Like if like a fruit fly grows 4 wings, it's a mutation. It's not, you know what I mean? It's just what it is. Or if like a sheep, has like shorter legs than the other ones. It's not even adding to information. But I could go on about this all day, man. I mean, it's a faulty thing to base your entire knowledge on, and it's because you're stupid. And I went to college where I learned all this stuff from people who wear glasses and that tell me that anyone who doesn't believe in it's an idiot. So I can just say you're an idiot and not have any argument, and I'm right and you're wrong. But anyways, the ordinance says that if you have at any point demonstrate a bias without defining what a bias is or who will determine whether or not one has been exercised, that you cannot get a city contract, Flowers says, or he said. Neither can any of your subcontractors who have demonstrated a bias sign on to the contract. Something's bothering me. I gotta check something real quick. I'm back. I take a lot of notes because there's a lot of knowledge out there, and I forget a bunch of stuff, sometimes. Mutations and natural selection evolution is based on 2 faulty assumptions. One is mutations makes something new and better. 2, natural selection makes it survive and take over the population. There you go. Darwinian evolution. There you go. I'm better than you. You're an idiot, because I listen to people that teach at institutions that are backed by taxpayer dollars and are proven to be fraud. And there's an agenda behind this, ladies and gentlemen. It's to create idiots, and they're doing a good job of it. He called the measure unprecedentedly wrong, and said the citizens of San Antonio must stop it, knock it off. We need to go out there and say that more often to people. Knock it off. Stop acting like an idiot and thinking it's justifiable. Okay? I'm tired of people that have no sense or no common sense going around shoving me, bowing up to me and telling me that if I don't believe what the status quo is, what then I'm an idiot. And it's like, you know what? I'm tired of people calling me an idiot. I'm tired of people pushing me around. I'm going to tell you something because I'm going to use my salt. And I'm going to make you thirst for that more. It works. It works. Believe me. Many pastors are connected, reported KHOU TV's Joe Conger in Houston. Ever have a Paula Deen moment? Make an off-color joke or hold a religious belief? Conger said. Pastor Steve Branson of Village Parkway Baptist Church says, keep it to yourself. If you're involved with San Antonio City government, proposed changes to the anti-discrimination ordinances could get you fired. You guys need to learn how to, there's a lot of sensitive people out there that think they're tough. I talk to a lot of people who don't believe in God, unfortunately. But I try to tell them and stuff. I'm me. You can't change who I am, even if I am your friend and you're an atheist. But I can take a joke once in a while. I don't need to go and start all this drama because an atheist made a joke, and their jokes are kind of lousy. They make no sense. They're really dumb. It's like they're like one of those two guys walked into a bar jokes. It's like a dumb joke. It's like not even funny at all. I'm not offended by it. It's just not funny. But you guys need to learn out there not to be so sensitive. Don't get offended so easily. Don't even get offended, period. Getting offended is like having a weakness towards somebody, because don't let somebody, manipulate you and pull the strings and get you to react. Fighting in MMA, I learned that to get somebody to react is kind of showing you that you're kind of setting the pace, that you're controlling the fight. I do that in the cage. I try to get you to react so that I can open you up. That's what people do in conversations. They will call you names, and they will falsely accuse you, and they will wrongfully, say that you did something that you didn't. But you can't get offended, man. That they're trying to open you up to you messing up. If you voice any opinion, no matter how many years back it's been, it can be used against you, Branson told the station. City employees are going to be greatly affected by this. The CHOU report said more than a dozen church leaders met to discuss the looming issue. An analysis released by pastors said the ordinance violates Texas and federal constitutions by creating a religious test for involvement in city government. The church leaders said it allows the city council to prohibit those that speak their religious beliefs regarding homosexuality from serving on city boards. For example, if a person publicly expresses their religious belief that homosexual behavior is a sin, even if this expression is at a church service, that person could be frozen out of involvement of city government. It's absolutely ridiculous. When somebody tells you that that's a sin, you're not, people like that. I saw a video of like these Christians getting beat up by like this low IQ fat guy that was at a gay rally. It's so gross too. But anyways, what that fat low IQ guy was expressing toward the Christian is his own guilt, shame, and embarrassment that he cannot handle. He is going through a war on the inside of himself, but he's going to hit you because you made him conscious of it. Hey, let's have a freaking vocabulary lesson here about the word conscious. Con meaning with, science like science meaning knowledge, with knowledge. That's what conscience means. It means with knowledge. Hello. The analysis also contends business run by people of faith will be subject to criminal penalties if they refuse to provide services that conflict with their religious beliefs relating to homosexuality. The council, which declined to advance the plan when it first was discussed, is scheduled to resume talks on the controversy in August. Should have some time to speak on this. Well, I don't. I've actually ran out of time. But you guys come, and I don't like to make my videos longer than 15 minutes. I try not to. I try to make them as short as possible. I don't want to take up too much of your time on my articles, but thank you for listening. You guys are great, man. Don't give in to the peer pressure, you guys. That's all I see out there, are people that fold when somebody starts getting mouthy, okay? One thing you need to know about stupid people is that they like to talk, okay? Anyways, God bless you guys, and I love you. All of you.